Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, the 8th of October. How's everyone doing this morning? Hey, Badir. Hey, Juan, how are you? Whoop, sorry. And good morning. Hey, Cisco. Aloha. Jerry. Jiraj, how you guys doing? Hey, Lonigan. Raj, what's up? Hey, Moran. The morning crew is here. Hey, Dan. Heyo, what's going on, guys? Well, market's functioning very nicely, normally, right? Had some liquidation yesterday. We liquidated that down into here, and now it's being resold up here, and they just put it on sale. So we're inside yesterday's range. I'd like to see this 67.45 level. On Sunday night, I said that's something that we have to look for on liquidation. And yesterday we got really close to it. Got like a point or two away from 45. I think we came down to 47, if memory serves. Then we have a poor low here. We have a poor low here. So poor lows just tell us that there's buying competition at these levels. And once we go and take a look, this is the day that kind of pushed us up. It was a very sort of strange first of the month, and it pushed us all the way from 67.05 all the way up to 65.70. And there's a whole bunch of bad structure in that profile, but there's one set of singles prints left down here in the 40s, and that's where the shorts were, and they went and front ran that, and that's why we have that poor low from yesterday. So let's see what happens today. Markets are working normally. We're getting rid of, you see, we had liquidating inventory yesterday. From these 2 days, it was taken into wholesale hands, redistributed at night for profit, but we're running out of buyers, so the market's correcting lower now. Let's go take a look. See, there's that redistribution. We took as much of this, sold it up here, and now we're back down to cost basis. So lower targets for our session are the overnight low, 58, that L and M low here at 55, okay, and then lower. If we break that, we've got to stop down here at 48.5. And then yesterday's low, which is a poor low, and that is at 47.25, I believe. Right, we had a double bottom. Very surprising yesterday. Had a double bottom. Definitely a place not to be short. So there are people who are trapped short here from yesterday. That equals bids. Let's see what kind of bids are there tonight. Okay. And we have a poor high. Thanks, Moran. Yeah, we have a poor high in the overnight. All right. So we had VWAP at 66 and change. There's that beautiful distribution. Hey, Travis, how you doing? That's a good observation. People sold ES to buy gold. Very likely. Right? That's not that is not the craziest idea you've had since I've known you, AO. It's very likely that that happened, right? Sell a little ES, buy a little gold, see if you can ride that wave. Where are we at gold now? I got 40.51 and change. We got to do a gold deal. That's all I know. We simply must do a gold deal. Is any? We have to find a piece of property we can drill on. Somewhere in northern Canada would be perfect. Northern Canada or actually no. Let's go Indonesia. It worked for Briex. It'll work for us, right? Uh, JJ, do you look for an inventory correction during London for Asia as much as RTH? It all depends on the situation. See, we've already had an inventory correction lower, Dan. So now what I'm thinking is, okay, so now our inventory's up here, right? We jammed all these people long, right? We jammed them all long above 68. They're pissed off. They're selling now. So let's absorb it back here. If the selling gets kind of rough, we'll get underneath 56, right? I'm always looking for an inventory correction. You know, Dan, that's how we make money. See, if you were short 69, right? You're shorting that inventory correction down, right? If we go sideways here and then go up, right? You're going long the inventory correction up. That's how we make money. Trading is all based on inventory corrections, right? We don't really know that. People don't really think about it that way. But all our trades are really based on inventory correcting, if you really think about it. Depending on the time frame, but it's always correcting. Hey, Mickey man, what's going on? Yeah, better temperature in Indonesia. And I could do the deal too. We could market it this way, right? We could do the lost city of gold that Briex never found, right? You guys all remember in the 90s, Briex said they had the largest gold mine in the world. Stock ran from 30 cents to $240 a share. And my client, the Penguin, made his first $400 million on that deal. It was my first exposure to how markets worked as a rookie. Back to the gold deal. Listen, opportunity, folks. When things are running hot, you do a deal and you give the people what they want. Make a couple of $100 million. Have a nice day. On to the next. Okay. So I've got a balance zone of 58.5 to 62. So we're under VWAP now, so we're going to be consolidating. And let's go check out that overnight low. Get the old trading software open here. Okay. So now we're just waiting patiently to see if we break that poor low, which is our overnight low, down at 58 and a quarter. And as usual, as soon as I get online here and start up this YouTube, things sort of quiet down. Be nice to see a breakdown, get under 55. Howard, are you online with us this morning? You're short from 70? Oh, that's a nice short. Beautiful. That's right. You're, what is it, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night for you now, Cisco? Okay, Howard. So we're stocking a trade, right? So you missed the short, 10 o'clock. Nice. So you missed the short, Howard, right? So I did too, right? Because I just started this up. I did my levels, everything, right? And so we're looking for the next trade, right, Howard? So you've got your balance zones. Is your balance zone the same as mine, or is it different? Right? The POC hasn't moved down yet because we just started to liquidate. So it might take a little time to move that point of control, right? It's 1,566 contracts. It might take some time to move down, right? So let's see if it comes down here, right? Right now, there's no trade for us because we don't have a look below and fail here or here yet. So that helps us because it keeps us calm until that happens. Now, also, I want you to think about this, Howard, right? Because I just started trading. I did my zones and everything. I posted them, then I was gone for about an hour and a half, and I came back in. And so I haven't been really watching. So let's watch and see if we can get a 58 and a half look below and fail, right? Otherwise, we can just kind of chill out and relax a little bit. The overnight low is just, what, 3 or 4 ticks above yesterday's point of control, right? So it's right where the cost basis is, right? So like if I was short at 65, 64, I'd be covering here, right? This is where the shorts are coming into cover. So remember, The K low is the first set of shorts are coming into cover, right? Because the large sellers are going to stop selling as the market gets to cost basis, right? Because remember, the large sellers who were long here, they've been distributing all night, so now they've got cash, right? And they'll sell it all the way down, and all the people who were long above here, they're in trouble. So they're slowly puking out. So the people who sold it up here, they're going to flip to the bid here, right? And they're going to take this all in and absorb it. Right where they did last night, right at the end of the day. So let's see if these areas hold, and we've got to wait for them to essentially vacuum up those contracts, right? Now, if we do a look below and fail of 62, right? If we crawl our way above 62, you know you're going to have sellers here and here, right? So you have to take that into account when you're trading, because you don't want to just take trades for the sake of taking trades, right? You want to be tactical in your trading, right? Your trades have to count. Think of your trades like bullets in a gun. You just don't want to go shooting them all off in the air. So you know you're going to have sellers at these places, right? And you're waiting for that point of control to move down. So we just chill out, relax, right? You're loose, right? You're relaxed. You're not anxious, right? You're not worried about anything. You're just waiting for the market to show you what the next business agenda is, right? What is the next order of business? Is it still cleaning up all those liquidating contracts, right? Because now we have liquidating contracts. They are being absorbed into wholesale positions at 60 to hopefully be redistributed higher in a little bit. But because it's 3 in the morning in New York, there's not a ton of order flow coming in, right? What's our volume tonight? 41,000 contracts? So just relax and wait for your trade. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people to go from being stressed out and hunting for a trade to realizing, oh, here's a point where I should be relaxed waiting for a trade, right? There's no need, there's nothing going on here. There's no business for me to be just jumping in and out of stuff. So let me see what they do. You see how we're finally catching some bids here, but you notice how it's slow, right? We have to trade like a sniper because we don't have a lot of bullets, right? Exactly, Cisco. You know, larger traders, you know, they've got artillery, hundreds of millions of dollars. They got 4-to-1 leverage. They got, you know, they don't pay commissions per trades. They have multiple accounts. They can go long in one account, short in one account, trade around positions, develop a core position, trade around that, all sorts of crazy crap, right? We we don't have that advantage, right? So it's going to chop around here. Now, Howard, you could get a big buy order come in and just rip this thing, but you know, what are the odds of that happening at 3 in the morning? You never know, right? But it's not something we can trade based on, you know, this might happen, right? So Howard, let's see if the POC has time to move down, or did this little dip in prices, is this going to stimulate buying, right? See, look at that. We're starting to offer above 62. So now I'm looking, what my concern is, not should I be going long. Where the hell's the seller? Right? We had a constant seller all the way down. And that's it? That's all there was for sale? Really? Not much. I know it's only 2 points, but I'm kind of surprised we're up above 62. Now let's see if they sell into it at 62 and 3/4. There. You see how the seller is right there? And now let's see if we hold 62. If we hold 62, we can maybe start thinking about going long. Look at that. So I'm going to put a 62 and 3/4 and a half bid in and see if I get hit. I'm a little late, right? So I'm long one at 62 and 3/4, right? Just one. I'm going to put a sell order in at 64 and a quarter. Just one tick above that to see if we break above that. Just curious. We'll buy another one at 62 half. If it breaks 62, then I know I'm too early on the trade, right? I'm doing this with micros just to see if my brain is working. Am I jumping the gun? Am I too early? My big problem in trading is I always trade too early, right? I'm always too early because I want to be fast. I've always trained to be fast. So my biggest snafu is that I always get in too early, right? I get in early, I get stopped out, and then the trade works. That's why I like to look below and fail. It's supposed to help you keep from doing that, right? But when it's choppy and there's back and forth trade around an area, it's a little, you know, it's a little harder to trade. So we got a seller at 63 and a quarter right now, right? I'll buy another one at 62 half. And I'm completely okay with scrubbing this trade if it breaks 62. What's that? I've never seen you do it, but my thoughts to adding to my winners, that just goes against everything I was taught. See, I was not trained as a prop trader, right? Not that I'm poo-pooing it, Cisco. If you have the account to do it and you have the trade management to add to your winners, right? You have to find a way to do it. So now I'm long 2 at 62.63. I'm offered at 64/4. I'm going to put an offer in at 63 and 3/4 to see if I get taken. And if I get taken, that will give me hope on that 64/4 order, and I'll probably move that down to 4 flat if I get taken. I'm out one at 63 and 3/4. I got one left, 62 half. I'm going to move that down to 4 and see if I get a print. If I don't get a print, I am going to hit the bid and be gone. Uh, I'm gone. Right? I'm gone. I'm gone. I bid waits for no man. I've got a very itchy finger when I'm trading, right? So there's bids there. I never add to winners. It's just I am as soon as I've got inventory, I think like a seller, right? See, because I've been trained as a wholesaler, right? And wholesalers never buy inventory, right? As a market maker, you're buying and selling constantly. But if you're a supplier, if you're a wholesaler, right? We used to have a joke in Vancouver, right? 500 shares on the bid, a million shares on the offer. Let's go to work, right? So we would buy only what we had to keep you guys coming in. You know what I mean? You never buy back your own stock. Not until after a campaign has been concluded, right? It's just not done. That's not bad. Had I been a little bit more patient, I would have gotten a couple of extra ticks, right? And now we're coming all the way back. Next area of interest I see is here, 65, right? And then VWAP's right there, right? Yeah, as soon as I'm long, I'm like, you want two? Sold. You want three? Sold. JJ, can I show you a? And as soon as they say bid, I'm like, sold. How you doing? Sold. Good morning. Sold. Right? I've always been a seller. Right? So to buy as a stock is going higher, I think that's a truly amazing thing if you can do it properly. See, there's no better feeling for me than to be long 5 or 10 contracts and then to be flat, right? After selling those 5 or 10 contracts. That is the best feeling is to keep making sales. And you get that when you do deals, right? When you do deals and you've got say to move 500,000 shares today or a million shares of stock today and the buying's coming in and you're making sales, and you see that stock being turned into cash. That's the best feeling in the world because you're taking worthless stock and you're turning that into cash, right? True alch true alchemy is turning worthless paper into cash, right? That's true alchemy. You take some company that does some kooky thing, pet food delivery, right? London's opening now. Let's see if we can get lower in London, right? Some crazy concept, right? Some app that shows you where all the best bathrooms are in New York. You put that into a company, take it public. Next thing you know, you turn that into cash. That's a beautiful thing, right? So that's what we've been taught. I've been taught always to be a seller, not a short seller, a seller from a long position, right? I think adding to a long position, it might be better in an investing scenario than in a day trading scenario. You know, if you really know the company inside and out, right? If you really, really know the company inside and out and you're adding to a position, but I like to add on dips. Very funny, Dan. A little politically incorrect, but very funny nonetheless. Don't get us into trouble, Dan. I don't want to be like Don Cherry. Back to 62. London always likes to shake out some cheap paper. Cheap product. Now, Howard, what do we do, right? It looks like we might, if it's slow, we might have a new rotation, Howard, somewhere, but I don't know where the bottom of that rotation is. Is it here or is it here, right? They canceled him pretty quick. Holding 62. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say maybe in a longer time frame, Cisco, but not for scalping. Definitely not for scalping, and definitely not for fast trading. So now, Howard, we're thinking maybe the POC will move down because we do have a seller at 64, right? So we came into this, right? We've got a seller at 64. They're stopping the sell here at 62. So now we got this going on, right? And we'll try and get this point of control down here. Let's see. Yeah. See, I know it sounds bad, but I consider retail trading one of the hardest things in finance, right? And the fact that retail traders make any money at all, to me, I find is exceptional because everything is really rigged against them, right? Especially knowledge and skill. So I'm a big believer in taking money off the table and keeping it. Not a bad long at 62, but I did not get that. I did not see this candle coming. Okay. So what I'm learning now, having missed this 62 long, 63 long, is that there's some decent bids down there at 63. Okay? See, the early Globex bid was here. We just tested it and now the bid has moved up. So as the bid moves up, it's telling us, "Oh, there's VWAP." Nice. Okay. Nice work, Mother Truck. Nice work. 62 to VWAP is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice. Nice. 3 points a day keeps the doctor away, right? Good stuff, Jerry. Just make sure you sell into strength. That's all you got to do. There's a little bit of rotation. Now let's see where the bid is. Right, it was 61 and 3/4. Now let's see, did it move up to 63? Let's see. Hmm, Watching the offer. There's 63 half, quarter. Yeah, VWAP to the tick, pretty nice. These markets are very, very precise. That's the nice thing. Once you get into the rhythm of the market and you understand what's going on, you can really get away with, you know, with smaller stops, especially in slow price action. Yeah, some people hate Globex because it's slow. Hey, whatever floats your boat. I think Globex is great for new traders because they don't have the skill to trade fast. It's funny though, a lot of people say they hate Globex because it's slow, and I'm like, well, are you consistently profitable in RTH? Well, no, but yeah, okay, well, keep coming up with the excuses. We'll make money while you make excuses. Seller at VWAP still, right? I like Globex. You know what? You make a couple of $100 during Globex, and it takes the pressure off in RTH. Then you don't feel like Secretariat coming out of the chute at 9:30 in the morning. You know? Exactly. I hate Globex. Well, are you profitable? No, but I lose money faster in RTH. Right? No problem, George. You're welcome. I don't know. People say a lot of crazy things in this business. People say a lot of crazy things. Retail trading is the only space where I see people say the most outlandish things. It's quite amusing. What's gold printing now, Cisco? Everybody's just into this gold market so bad. What's the daily volume in the gold market? What's the GC contract volume right now? I'm curious. 59,000 contracts? Interesting. So it's actually more than the ES Globex volume. Above VWAP, folks, we're going to be going right back up to that 68, 69 level. Next set of sellers is going to be up here. And then here. And then 69. Not bad. Not bad. That was a faster recovery from the lows than I thought. I thought we were going to spin around 59, 62 for a little bit. So there you go, Howard. I know that didn't help you, but now at least you know where the bids are, right? At least you know where the bids are. And now we're in the middle of the range here between 62 and 69 at 65, going back over and forth over Globex. That's a quick recovery. I'm still in relax mode. I've taken one scalp. Yeah, the GC market at night must be so easy to push around for the big speculators, right? I mean, good grief. I'm sure all of the Canadian mining boys must be just so happy. Look at that, eh? Good for them. Jeez, good for them. You know what they were due, man? I know people who have been gold bugs for 40 years saying $5,000 gold, and everybody just laughed at them, right? You know, back in the 90s and the late 80s, all the gold people like John Kaiser and all those mining promoters, they were like gold, gold, gold. Everyone was doing, just pushing gold, and people were just laughing at them saying do internet deals. You know, I hope they're still alive to see this. All my old clients, all the old diggers, the guys who battled polar bears and wolves in Alaska. Well, if they're still alive, they were pretty old back then. You know, in the 90s and the 80s, AO, they were like in their 60s, so I don't know if they're still alive. But they were like hard rock miners were like, that's who a lot of my clients were, hard rock miners, right? And nobody wanted to buy their stocks in the 90s. Everybody wanted poop.com and garbage.com. Yeah, no kidding, eh, Cisco? John Kaiser? John Kaiser, the Bottom Fisher Report. I don't know if he had a son. John Kaiser was a very, very famous Canadian mining analyst. And he had this report called the Kaiser Bottom Fisher Report. He'd find really, really cheap companies that had good stock promoters behind them. And people would load up at like, a penny or 2 pennies, and the stock would go to 30 cents, and they'd be like so happy. Harry Zenos. You're not from Vancouver, are you? Aussie, okay. The Bottom Fisher Report? Yeah. Back then, there were like, they used to have these mining shows, the PDAC, the Prospector and Developer Association Conference in Toronto, and then what's his name, Joe Morin. He used to have the Vancouver Gold Show, and it was all these because when Vancouver had a stock exchange, you had hundreds of these tiny little mining companies, right? Just some characters running them. A lot of husband and wife teams that were like stock promoters. Like John and Shirley Mooney, nobody's ever heard of those guys. They were hilarious. Scream at each other all day in the office. Bob and Judy Donis. These are all names from the past. All big gold bugs. Oh, this old couple was hilarious. Oh, is it really? Seems like 3 or 4 lifetimes ago. We got a seller at VWAP. Just back and forth for now, folks. Bit choppy. Oh yeah, I see. I grew up in the industry with guys like Jim Dines, Rick Rule, John Kaiser, um, the guys from Agora Publishing. So I had clients that did uranium, gold, diamonds, oil. Kaiser Sose, exactly. There were a couple of those types too, Dan. Quite a few of those types. Oh no, we're talking. This guy was from California, John Kaiser. It's a long time ago. Yeah, the dying art of stock promotion. Now it's all done electronically. It's really no surprise that gold is at 4,000 because it was the only thing that was kind of sitting around that the speculators hadn't gone crazy with, right? It was very exploitable. Right? The amount of speculative money in this market right now is just insane, right? I mean, if you have trillion-dollar money management institutions, just think about some of the partnerships and prop firms and family offices that are operating now with huge amounts of money, massive sophistication, technology, right? And credit. Where's the cluster of shorts, my friend? Sorry, my eyes aren't that great this morning, Alexander. The square. Oh, could be. Could definitely be. We're under the square now, though, right? So if we're under this square, the shorts are underneath us. See, there you go, Harry. You sound like a real gold bug. Gold and silver have been manipulated down, right? I don't know. I don't know enough about those markets. All I know is I can sell a lot of gold stock right now with gold at 4K an ounce. Now, I've never traded it. And that's the thing. A lot of people are like, "Hey, can we trade some gold?" And I'm like, yeah, "Go ahead." I mean, I don't I don't trade it. Um, I just stick to ES. Even when it's boring, I like ES because I know the market. Um, yeah, Leaping Lizards, that is a thin book on GC. I don't even know what the tick size is. So, Harry, if we do a gold deal, you want to write the newsletter? See, you're talking about Tomahawk missiles and gold. See, it's perfect, right? Oh, yeah. Uh, we'll get you to write the newsletters, right? Get them excited, right? As old Uncle Harry would say, get on the bid, kid. It's a career builder. Yeah, we could tokenize. We could do a gold mining deal and tokenize the securities and sell those. That'd be fun. Sorry, folks. I haven't been very focused this morning. Well, we're chopping around here. Still have a seller at VWAP. I don't know. You show me a market, and I always as soon as you guys start talking about something that's popular, I start figuring out what we can sell. Right? Get Howard doing the email blasts. Yeah. Right. As soon as you show me a popular something that everyone wants to buy, I'm like, what can we sell them? Right? People are doing gold deals. I'd be the guy selling shovels and pickaxes and dynamite. Always money to be made, right? What can we sell them? What do they want to buy? Silver's the next hot thing? Okay, let's grab a silver property too. Find one in Mexico, right? Yeah, the gold mini is kind of thin. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the market, so wouldn't even know how to trade it. Yeah, and we're creeping up on that 67 area. Very choppy and then up. Chop and up. You notice that? Chop, 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 up. Chop, 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 up. Seems to be the modus operandi this morning. It's not a bad creep. Not a bad creep. I have to be honest though, I did not believe in it. In this chop didn't get me. These up and down moves kind of kept me from going long. So maybe my discipline is not the best this morning. Well, let's be honest. My discipline is not the best this morning. That's okay. I literally have been at the screen for just the hour with you guys. We'll get it right. Yeah. All right, my friends. Yeah, it's choppy. Got to be a little bit more. I apologize. I have to be a little bit more tuned in. Yeah, we'll see you for round two. Hey, nice work, Moran. Way to focus. Well done. See, I got all distracted with this gold talk. Bad JJ. Nice trade, Moran. Well done. Beautiful. Way to hold in there, too, through that chop. Nicely done. Getting good at holding them longer now. Nice work. Now we'll do a little distribution over VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go work on my discipline. You folks have a good morning. We'll see you at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for our next session. Trade well, and hopefully you're a bit more focused than I am. I got to go work on that. I will see you all in a few hours. Thanks for being with us. And I got to go get discipline. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for being with us. Bye for now.